Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back in this video of the fourth part of this average. If anyone is not familiar with the previous concept is related to average, he can go to the previous videos first of all, he can check there, and then he can come back to this video after watching those videos. That were all basics of average. Now in this video, as you can see on the clear screen, we are going to talk about average of some important series. As the tag suggests that we have some important series, that this topic will help us to calculate that series. So my dear friends, we have different types of these series in mathematics, different types of these series. I hope you all are familiar with the word. Consecutive odd numbers. I hope you are familiar with this word, these words already. But if someone have a difficulty in this in these words, let me something tell you about this. Consecutive odd numbers, what does it mean? For example, if someone asks you about the odd numbers, first thing that comes in your mind is actually the number 3. As per me, actually the number 3 comes in your mind whenever someone says you that odd, that something odd. When he tries to say this odd, the first thing that comes in your mind is this 3. I'm just talking about I'm just talking about my brain, that whenever someone says this odd, in my brain always comes this 3. There always comes this 3. That's why I suppose that it's also coming in your mind. So then we can say then we have this 5. After that we have 7. After that we have 9. So you see that there is a difference. You can see there is a difference that makes these numbers. For example, if we'll minus this number to this number, that we will get here 2. If we'll minus this number to this number, we will get 2. If we'll minus this number to this number, we'll get 2. That means these numbers are having difference of 2 in between them. Clear, my friends? These numbers are having the difference of 2 in between them. Okay, this we already are familiar with. Consecutive odd numbers means that we have some numbers that are coming in order. For example, odd numbers, if we'll suppose that odd numbers starts from 1. So 1, then 3, then this 5, then this 7, and then we can say we have 9, and so on, my dear friends. I'm not here interested to calculate the nth. I'm not interested in that, because that makes the infinity. So we understand about these, then we will be able to understand the nth degrees. So my dear friends, what I want to say, I want to just explain this consecutive odd numbers. Consecutive odd numbers means that we have some numbers that are coming in order. You see here we have 1, then there is 3, there is 5, there is 7. There's not that is not the series that we will get here 1, then 5, then 3. You see here you will get 1, then 3, then 5. ठीक, अगर किसी को समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो मेरा मतलब है कि ऐसा यहाँ पर नहीं है कि सबसे पहले 1 आएगा, फिर 5 आएगा, फिर 3 आएगा, या फिर 9 आएगा, फिर 7 आएगा. No, we are talking about the order. That means we are having the order here. We have a particular order that makes this series. This series is something called as consecutive odd number series. So this is consecutive odd number series, my dear friends. Or in general, In general, if it's not clear to you, then you can just cut down this consecutive. You can just only say odd numbers. That means we have 1, we have 3, we have 5, we have 9, so on, friends. You can just only say odd numbers. So friends, the first series we are going to talk about that's something called as the consecutive odd number series. For example, if we have to calculate the average of consecutive odd numbers, then how can we calculate that? Remember this. That's something the importance of this topic here. If we have to calculate the average of the consecutive odd numbers, or simply I will say to you that if we have to calculate the average of odd numbers, then how can we calculate that? For example, again, I'm taking an example here, friends. We'll take a formula later. First of all, let me plot here the definition. For example, if I'll give some of the odd numbers, let us suppose I gave you 1, I give you 3, then 5, then 7. Okay, so we have 4 types of the numbers here, which are having a property that these numbers are odd, consecutive odd numbers. These numbers. Clear. So now I will tell you about to calculate the average of these series of these numbers. Instead of calculating like 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, clear, my dear friends, instead of calculating this thing, we can just 5, then calculating this 7 here, then divided by this 4, as you are familiar with this thing already. So I think as per me, this is the long procedure of getting the answer from this thing. So instead of using this thing, we'll use something special. Something special means we'll use here a formula that will help us to calculate the average of this also. For example, if there will be the 100 numbers, if there will be the 1,000 numbers, the 10,000 numbers, then how can you calculate? Are you able to calculate like 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus that, so on, so on, so on? You are not able to do that because that is time consuming. Clear? So how can you do? The best way is to remember the formula that will help you to get the average of this series. Let me tell you about a series. First of all, that is the series of odd consecutive odd numbers. So my dear friends, I will first of all plot here this series. That is, how can we calculate the average of consecutive odd numbers from 1 to n. So friends, I hope you are getting this thing here in the clear screen. You see that average of consecutive odd numbers from 1 to n is n plus 1 by 2. That means if we have some odd number series from 1 to n, let us suppose we have from 1 to 5. So how many consecutive odd numbers will be from 1 to 5? We say that we have 1, then we have 3, then we have 5. So that means we have 3 odd numbers here. And here is simply n denotes the last odd number. So that means the last odd number is over 5. That 5 will come here in this place. We will add that 5 with this one and divide that by 2. This will calculate the average of 3 consecutive odd numbers. I will later on give you the example that will something make you clear, make you understandable of this topic. Similarly, my dear friends, we have another series that is for consecutive even numbers. No need to say what are the even numbers actually this series. For example, here you will see 0, 2, 4, 6, then 8, then 10. Similarly, friends, so on. This series, something represents the number series, that is something called as even. So that's something called as even numbers. Okay, my dear friends. So now, if we have to calculate the average from this 2 to this 10, but without using the previous methods that we did in the previous forms, like 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10, then divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we'll not use that method here. We will simply use the formula that this topic will provide us, so that we can use that formula. Then we will get the average of this series. It's so simple. So now, friends, let me plot here the second definition or second thing that will help you to calculate the average of even number series. So friends, the second thing is average of consecutive even numbers from 2 to n is n plus 2 divided by 2. So friends, if we have some consecutive even numbers and we are supposed to get the average of them, so by using this formula, we can get the average. Note that this n here represents the last even number that you want to calculate in your series. For example, if you'll choose the even numbers from 2 to 8, we say that we have 2, we have 4, then we have 6, we have then 8. Then this n will get the value of 8 because it is the last even number of our series. Clear, friends? And then you can calculate the average. One more important thing is that we have here from 2 to n. From 2 to n. That means you can't here calculate your average from 0. No. For that, we have another formula. You can use this formula whenever you have to calculate the average from 2 to n. 2 to n means 2 to any number that either context will give you or you want to calculate. Clear? So later on, I will show you some examples. From those examples, you will get a crystal clear concept. So this was the another series. This was the another formula that will help you to calculate the average of consecutive even numbers. Let me come to the third point, that if we have to calculate the squares of natural numbers. So I hope that you still remember about natural numbers, the numbers that are counting numbers, sometimes called as natural numbers. For example, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, so on. These numbers are said to be the natural numbers. These are simply the counting numbers. That's why these numbers are called as the counting numbers. But friends, if we do the squares of these, we'll just simply do squares of these. Then we want to calculate average from this one. Example, I'm giving you an example. We want to calculate then average from this one to this 4, example. So what will be the formula for that to calculate average of this thing? Clear? For that, I will plot here the another definition that will really help you to calculate the average of the squares of the natural numbers. So let's do that. So friends, here is the formula that will really help you to calculate the average, of the squares of the natural numbers. Clear? This formula says, let us wait for some time. Okay, so friends, this is the third formula. So friends, this formula says average of squares of natural numbers till n. For example, we want to calculate from 1 square to 8 square. So n will be here, n will be here, this 8. This is the last number. Clear? As I told you here also. So this n will get here the value of this 8. Then you can calculate simply the average of squares of natural numbers. Okay, friends? Let's move on to another thing. For example, if there will be not this square, there will be the cube of the natural numbers. Natural numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So friends, if we'll now cube these all numbers, that means here will be cube, here will be cube, here will be cube, and here will be also cube. This will be cubic series of natural numbers. And we are supposed to calculate the average from this 1 to this 4. How can we calculate? What is the formula for that to calculate the average then? Now, I will show you that formula here. So friends, here is the formula for simply calculating the cubes of the natural numbers. That is n into n plus 1 whole square divided by this 4. Here n means that this n represents the last number of our series till we want to calculate. This completes our 4 series, friends. Now, if you remember, I recently told you about this one series, average of consecutive even numbers from 2 to n. So friends, here I told you that we have to calculate consecutive even numbers, but from 2 to n. Suppose friends, we want to calculate from 0 to n. If we'll now include here 0 to n, then what will be the formula? That means if we want to calculate the average of first n consecutive even numbers, we want to calculate the average of first n consecutive even numbers, then what will be the formula for that? Let's have a look. Friends, you see here, average of first n consecutive even numbers is simply n plus 1. And here represents the last number in your series, either in your series or the series that that context will provide you or your book will provide you. There you can see what it will be the last number. You can put that number in place of this n here, you will get the answer. Clear, friends? So this is the series, or this is the formula for calculating the average of first n consecutive even numbers. So friends, if we have now squares of even numbers, we know that we have even numbers. Suppose we have even numbers. If we will calculate even numbers from 2, let us suppose from 2. We have 2, we have 4, we have 6, we have 8, so on, friends. Clear? Now, if we want to just squaring these numbers, let us square these numbers. We'll get here square, we'll get square, this is square, this is square. Clear? Now, we want to calculate the average of this 2 to 8. We want to calculate the average from 2 to 8, but with squares. Then what will be the formula for calculating that? That is the last series of our topic today. Let us understand that series also. Let me plot here that series also, friends. So friends, this was the last series of our topic, average of some important series. That's average of squares of first n consecutive even numbers is twice n plus 1 and twice n plus 1, 2n plus 1 divided by 3. So friends, here n represents the last number of your series that you want to calculate. Clear, friends? So this was all about this series, average of some important series. So if any one of you want to take the screenshot of it, you can take the screenshot of it. Okay, friends. Now let's we proceed to a question. We have one question here. I will show you that question because that will provide you much of the benefits for getting these concepts clear. Let me have a question here. So friends, आपके स्क्रीन पर एक एग्जांपल दी गई है. इस एग्जांपल में कह रहा है फाइंड आउट द एवरेज ऑफ consecutive इवन नंबर्स टिल 20. यानी कि फ्रेंड्स आपके पास दिए हैं इवन नंबर्स. कितने इवन नंबर्स दिए हैं आपके पास? 20 इवन नंबर्स दिए हैं, क्योंकि इसने कहा है टिल 20. दैट मीन्स 20 इवन नंबर्स है हमारे पास. ठीक है, कौन कौन से हो सकते हैं ये इवन नंबर्स जो हो सकते हैं, ये इवन नंबर्स ऐसे हो सकते हैं. देखिए फ्रेंड्स, जस्ट लाइक 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Similarly, friends, 12, 14, 16, 18 एंड फ्रेंड्स 20. ये मैं आपके लिए यहाँ पर लिख रहा हूँ, अदरवाइज आपको खुद ही ये समझ जाना है. सो फ्रेंड्स, अब मुझे इन सब का निकालना पड़ेगा एवरेज. ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, देखिए अगर मैंने आपको ये सीरीज नहीं पढ़ाई होती तो मुझे पता था कि आप जो इसका एवरेज कैलकुलेट करते, आप कुछ इस तरीके से करते. आप इस 2 को ऐड करते 4 के साथ, फिर ऐड करते 6 के साथ, देन यू विल ऐड 8, देन यू विल ऐड 10, सिमिलरली अप टू 20. फिर होल डिवाइड करते कि कितने नंबर्स ये है, उनसे आप डिवाइड कर देते. लेकिन आपको कहीं ना कहीं लगता कि जो आपका क्वेश्चन हो रहा है वो आपका टाइम थोड़ा ले रहा है. आपका क्वेश्चन जो है वो थोड़ा टाइम ले रहा है, टाइम का थोड़ा नुकसान हो रहा है. इसीलिए उस टाइम को बचाने के लिए ये सीरीज आ गई थी जो मैंने आपको पहले ही पढ़ाई. वो सीरीज मैंने आपको पहले ही क्लियर करवाई, इसीलिए वो सीरीज आ गई थोड़ा टाइम को बचाने के लिए. अब देखिए कैसे टाइम बच जाता है. देखिए फ्रेंड्स, यहां पर जो लास्ट वाला नंबर है दैट इज 20. वो 20 है. आपको शायद याद होगा मैंने हर किसी सीरीज में बताया कि जो लास्ट वाला नंबर होगा वही हमारा n होता है. दैट मीन्स यहां पर ये 20 जो है वो हमारा n है. ये पहली बात हम दिमाग में लेते हैं. ठीक है फ्रेंड्स. दूसरी बात, फ्रेंड्स आपको शायद याद होगा जब मैंने पढ़ाया था ये सीरीज, मैंने आपको बोला था कि जो कॉन्जिक्यूटिव इवन नंबर्स के लिए सीरीज आती है या फॉर्मूला आती है फ्रॉम 2 to n, फ्रॉम 2 to this whatever you want to calculate, from 2 to this n, this is n here 20, so 2 से लेकर 20 तक. सो इसके लिए जो फॉर्मूला आती है वो आती है n plus 2 divided by 2. ये मैंने बताया था आपको, n plus 2 divided by 2. ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, सिंपल है. अब मुझे बताइए n हमारा कितना है? n हमारा है 20. n is equal to here 20. Simply you have to put that value in this series. So I will get here 20 plus 2 divided by this 2. I will get here 20 plus 2 is 22 divided by 2. 2 into 1 and 2 into 1, 1. So our answer is 11. 11 is the answer of this average, of the average series. दैट मीन्स अगर आप 2 को प्लस करोगे 4, फिर 6, फिर 8, फिर 11, फिर दिस जितना भी आप इनको ऐड करोगे, फिर होल डिवाइड करोगे इन सबको, कितने नंबर्स है, आपको अल्टीमेटली वहां से भी आंसर 11 ही मिलेगा. और आपको इस छोटी सी फॉर्मूला को याद रखने के बाद भी आंसर 11 ही मिल गया. सो फ्रेंड्स, यहां तक था आपका एवरेज जो कि कंप्लीट हो चुका है. फ्रेंड्स, अगर किसी को और भी इसमें आगे जरूरत होगी कुछ क्वेश्चंस, तो वो मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकता है, या वो कमेंट भी कर सकता है यूट्यूब पर। मैं उसको वहां भी सेंड कर सकता हूँ कुछ क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस पर्पस के लिए, या तो डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट ही कर सकता है। मैं वहां पर उनको क्वेश्चन सेंड करूंगा। खास तौर पर मैं उनको बोल रहा हूँ जिनको ऑलरेडी मैं इसके बारे में पढ़ा रहा हूँ, जिनको मैं अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर भी थोड़ा इसका क्लियर करता हूँ, तो वो भी मुझे पूछ सकते हैं। उनको मैं इसके रिलेटेड कुछ क्वेश्चंस और दूंगा, जिससे उनका थोड़ा जो पेस है वो बढ़ जाएगा टू सॉल्व दीज प्रॉब्लम्स रिलेटिंग टू एवरेज। सो हम नया टॉपिक अब स्टार्ट करेंगे, नया एक सब्जेक्ट इसका स्टार्ट करेंगे बहुत ही जल्दी। टिल देन आप सभी अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज।